This is the final project for the GSMA capacity building Disaster Preparedness and Response presented by Joel Escoto. It's a national disaster preparation and response plan for mobile telecommunication in Honduras. As an introduction about Honduras, Honduras has more than 9 million of population, almost one half belong to rural areas. The access in these areas sometimes is very difficult. Honduras belongs to the Central America Isthmus. For its position, it is susceptible to hurricane attack, tropical storm, as well as being disposed to earthquake for its many seismic failure. Honduras has areas susceptible to flooding, especially in zones near to rivers. Honduras has more than 92% of penetration of mobile services. There are three mobile network operators, two of them with national coverage. This is a picture of the rivers of Honduras. You can see it, we have many rivers in the Atlantic Ocean, also in the Pacific Ocean. And this is a picture of the Mitch hurricane who hit Honduras in 1998. This picture shows the geological fault of Honduras. It's a very big fault in the frontier between Honduras and Guatemala, and also because Honduras has coast in the Pacific Ocean, we belong to the Ring of Fire, and this is the megatrots failure of the Pacific. This picture shows earthquake who hits Honduras in 2009. Economical and political review. The political and economical situation in Honduras changed after the political crisis of 2009. Then a period of moderate economic growth has remained until the electoral crisis of 2017. There exists still a deep political polarization that has confronted the society. The political crisis is expected to be restored through the national dialogue. You can see a picture of confrontations during the political crisis of 2017. The legal framework of National Disaster and Response Plan for Telecommunication. In Honduras, there exists the law for the National System of Risk Management. This law contains the creation of the SINAHER, National System of Management of Risks, for his letter in Spanish. The agency who leads the SINAHER is COPECO, the Commission for the Prevention of Contingencies, or the equivalent of the National Civil Protection Services in another countries. The concession contract for the mobile and fixed telephony include the following clause. The company will collaborate in the design of a national emergency plan and disaster mitigation measures. The company and other operators will assume by their own cost the preparation of this plan during the event of a crisis, on emergency including those related to national security. The company will provide the telecommunication services in accordance with the instruction of CONATEL, who is the national telecommunication regulator, and other component government agencies. These include providing the telecommunication services needed by aid agency and other government agencies. The Telecommunication Regulator Act of Honduras contains the possibility to access to the spectrum in special cases. CONATEL may grant temporal licenses for purposes such as experimentation, research, humanitarian assistances, in emergency situation assistances, among others. Establishment of an emergency mobile telecommunication system. And the objective of CONATEL, the telecommunication regulator, is made the approach for the establishment of an emergency telecommunication management plan for natural disaster, for which it will carry out the following activities. Establish of a telecommunication national system of emergency, TNSA, formed by CONATEL and the mobile network operator. Integration in a formal way in the national system of management of risk, the SINAHER, of CONATEL and the three mobile network operators, Tigo, Claro, and Honduras. There must be designed jointly a business community management BCM planning for disaster resilience in mobile network, and the design of a telecommunication regulation framework with the support of the interested parties. It is the mobile network operator and the relief bodies. And what will be the telecommunication regulator proposal? For the government, there exists the necessity to establish a normative resolution of the delimitation of responsibilities and action to be carried out in order to face the natural disaster. Some regulatory guidelines are the following. The regulatory flexibility of CONATEL related with the changes in the network configuration of the MNO, like new or changes in the BTS and the bus transceiver station, microwave and satellite links, the power levels and the utilization of additional spectrum to the authorized. The disposition for identification of user, know your customer, for the habilitation of SIM after the disaster. Is another flexibility that the regulator could establish. And the disposition about data management for the protection of the personal information. This is very important because the political crisis in Honduras, this information could be used in another way. So the objective of their CONATEL, the regulator, is that this information only be used for salvation objective, only for the disaster, help the people. And then the channels of formal information with MNOs and public communication. The telecommunication regulatory proposal for the applied to the mobile network operator. These operators also need to establish the scope of his participation, and some guidelines are the following. The activities and coordination in the telecommunication national system on emergency for the collaboration with the relief bodies. The contribution to telecommunication services for the relief bodies. This is during and after the disaster. The action necessary to the activation of the early warning broadcast systems. The restoration of coverage in important areas like hospital and relief body and government buildings. This is very important in the first steps after the disaster. and then the restoration of coverage in the affected areas. Um, Following with this proposal, uh, the application of free services to the affected population, establishing priorities according to the international standard, such as the recommendation of the ITU, the International Emergency Preference Scheme for Disaster Relief Operation, or blocked the credit management action to allow continued customer access to services. This is very important because in many cases the users can pay the services during the disaster, and they need the communication. Also establish discrimination for the importance of the communication. The, and then the share of relevant information with CONATEL and relief bodies for the better management aid. This is how the MNO can share the information about the CDR of the users. Cooperation with government or the relief bodies like World Food Program for the mass distribution of aid through the mobile money services. This is services is also very used in countries with a lot of rural areas, and is more easy to send money through mobile money services than make the distribution and the logistic of for send money to the affected areas. The facilitation of SMS broadcast for donation campaigns, if required. This is very important too for the aid of the affected population. Follow the humanitarian connectivity charter principles of the GSMA. This charter is very important because established the many principles that the MNO can follow for a standard distribution of the aid. Early warning system. Before disaster such as hurricane, strike, or even earthquake, there are 6 early warning systems that can be integrated in the telecommunication networks for the broadcast of SMS in specific areas. In some cases, like hurricanes, the warning is maybe with days of anticipation. In earthquake, could be minutes or maybe seconds of anticipation. The objective of this technology is reach in an easy and fast way a lot of mobile users for the prevention of disasters and informing about the measures that the population should take to limit the damage of natural disasters like hurricane or earthquake. The system of SMS broadcast could also be used for inform to the population about the help centers or shelters available near to a specific area. So this is very useful system for help the population. The long-term recovery plan. After a disaster, it is possible that many days pass for the restoration of normal services like electricity or access to roads. So a long-term recovery plan is needed. Here are some guidelines. The provision of fuel and bank of batteries on the BTS and the possibility of use of another technology like mobile BTS or better battery backup. This is because the principal problem is the fail of energy. The MNOs also can provide, if it's required, charging station for the users, uh, active SIM card, and provide new phones to customers who need them. Satellite communication is an option when the rest of the network is not accessible. This is only for critical communication with the relief bodies. Facilitation of shortcuts for phone collection or donation. And the partnership opportunities. There exist many partnership opportunities between MNOs and organizations integrated in this scenario, like local governments, the municipalities, for the facilitation of authorization of network deployments, at the same COPECO for the coordination of activities, with the Red Cross, with the government custom authorities for the coordination of importation of telecommunication service equipment during or after the disaster and the arrival of technical personnel from other countries, and United Nations organizations like the World Food Programs who could access to services like mobile money. So this is all for the proposal for the regulatory plan for the disaster preparation for mobile telecommunications.